State Chief of Police Tony Holt. Tony, you've been around this campus for a long time.
Oh, I've been around here a long time as a police officer and also as a student down here, and actually lived in the area, so it's been quite a while.
I mean, you go back to the Motown era.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Ever see any of those guys around campus?
You know, right around the corner here from the station used to be United Sound Studio. The Parliaments, the 50 Mention, quite a few groups would come there. In fact, Motown used to use that studio for recording because they were so booked. So you used to see all of those guys around the campus area back then.
You've been with the police department for quite a while and been chief since, I believe, 2008.
Yeah, 2008. I joined the department in 1977 as an officer.
What got you to choose that as a career?
You know, I always liked going into police work, and Wayne State was probably the second police department in the country to require a bachelor's degree to be under the job. I thought it was a very professional department. They'll help you continue your education financially, and because I worked and I lived in the Cass Corridor area, I thought it was just a great opportunity to be in the area that I know.
Now, you've gotten to see all kinds of things, like we said, in this area. Presidents, other types of dignitaries. What are some of the more memorable occasions that you've had in your time on the job?
Boy, I tell you, so many. Probably what really stands out is President now Obama, when he was running for election, made a major campaign stop on Woodward Avenue at Kirby, and our department was completely involved in the protection of that, setting it up. And Miss Obama came to the campus. President Obama came to the campus several times. Those are very memorable occasions.
Talk about what this department does in terms of how it works with the Detroit Police Department.
Well, first of all of our officers are sworn Detroit police officers. After we hire a student or a subject to become a police officer, he goes to the police academy, he finishes our in-house training program, and then we take him down to Detroit Police Headquarters, and he's sworn in as a Detroit police officer by the incoming chief at that time. And then we're really connected. We have a ComStat meeting here every 2 weeks where we have Detroit Police, Wayne County Sheriffs, Department of Correction. It's a total team effort, and I look at it where we're part of that team.
You say, you talk about former students coming here. What percentage of your department are former Wayne State students?
Oh, it's a really high percentage. We probably have only 50% of Wayne State students in some capacity.
Quite a few athletes now. There's a notable former athlete who, I guess you could say interned here, was a cadet here, but ended up playing pro football, Joik Bell, but he was on track to possibly be a part of this department had the football career not worked out.
Joik has a strong desire to become involved in law enforcement. His brother-in-law was an FBI agent who was killed in the line of duty, and I think since then Joik has really set his eye, after his career in pro football is over, to become in law enforcement. He was a criminal justice major, and like a lot of criminal justice majors, he worked here as a public safety cadet.
And you still see him around here? I know he was here this week.
Yeah, he comes in all the time. Yeah, he calls. He lives in the area. We tease him and say, hey, we're keeping your locker because I'm not sure how long you're going to make it there. And we just sort of tease him about that. But he's a big contributor of our department and a booster of what we do in the area.
And you've got quite a few former student athletes in the department right now. Is there anything different of getting a former student athlete and just a regular old former student?
Boy, it really is, because there's about 7 elements or 6 or more that I look for where I recruit in anyone. I need that reliability, and athletes have that, because if they don't have it, they're not going to be on the team. They have to be dependable, have to be very disciplined. They can usually handle really high stress, adrenaline dump type situation, because they see that on the field, they see that on the basketball court. And that's important in police work because you're going to run into that same sort of area. They have to be able to take constructive criticism. And I probably say that mildly because I've been at halftime in the locker room where the coaches are really landing on the line. So when you have athletes who come in with that type of elements, you're halfway there in the training of what you want.
You talk about coaches at halftime, so obviously they need to be coachable. Compare yourself to being a coach. What do you do that maybe a Paul Winters or a David Greer or a Kerry Lord does that's
Well, I think
comparable?
the key, what I try to do as a police chief that might be comparable, is I want to get that teamwork spirit involved in police work. It's never officer or what he does alone. It's how well he fits in with the team and how well we set the goals. We all could coordinate to work towards their goals. And I think that's the same as what coaches do. I think at the beginning of the season, they state, this is where we want to be. At the police department, we say, this is our goal in Midtown in terms of crime reduction. This is our goal in terms of the type of service we want to provide. And then we say, now how do we do this? How do we get together as a team and achieve these goals? I think this is the same as what coaches do.
You know, it's funny, everything you've described has all been about attitude, mental part of it, the psychological part of it. And the thing that when we first saw Faber Colbert and Norris Friday and Ed Viverette and others in uniform was, man, they've got athletes in there. They can chase people down. They're big and strong. And you didn't even bring that up, but there has to be a physical aspect that they can be an aid in a certain situation.
You know, that's really a small part of the job. We make a lot of arrests. We may average 30 or 40 arrests every 14 days. And none of those arrests are campus related. We're in the Midtown area. But when I say teamwork, no one's doing this alone. You know, if you come up with a gang of 4 and you're stopping them, as a matter is backup is around the corner. They're coming right away. It's great to have that physical demeanor, and it's great to have that athletic skill, but I'm not looking for a bouncer type officer.
When you get a former athlete who comes in as a cadet or gets hired as an officer, do you ever talk to his coach and find out, hey, tell me some of his strengths and weaknesses?
I have not brought one athlete in where I have not interviewed the coach. I had some athletes apply after talking to the coach. You know, I just said, you know, I don't think this is a good fit. Explore your other options. And when the coach tells me some strengths and weaknesses, it becomes very evident during the training program that this is just what the coach said.
Now, some of your former student athletes, heck, some of your officers have been here for a long time, but others might have goals to get beyond and move farther in law enforcement. How many of them do that? Do they, they move on to something bigger?
Well, you know, if you go outside my door here, you'll see a big bulletin board, and it may be almost 500 to 1,000 patches out there. And those patches represents where everybody who's worked here, where they're at now or where they moved to. I'm here almost 40 years. It may only be 3 or 4 people who have that kind of tenure here. So that shows you this is a department where officers come in, they get a tremendous amount of training. They really expand their educational opportunities. I just had an officer here get his PhD in education. And once they get that, they're very attractive to join another of the big city department in the federal agencies. One of my officers was a defensive end on the football team here at Wayne State. I hired him as an officer. He worked 2 years in uniform on the patrol, worked a plainclothes unit for 1 year, worked on a task force for ATF, and now he's an ATF agent.
Last question for you. Summarize what a Wayne State officer has to do day to day, what makes this job special, and what makes Wayne State special?
Well, I think what makes Wayne State special is the type of service that we provide to Midtown. When you're talking a 90 seconds to 120 second response time, that's one. And we provide service. We do safe walks. And we are not just a campus security guard, we're a full service police department. We have a K-9 unit. We have a ready response team. And we patrol everywhere in Midtown. I always tell people, don't look at the stats, because stats don't mean anything to people in the community. They know how crime is and they know what type of job you do. If you walk down any of the major businesses on Woodward Avenue, from the coffee shops to the 5-star restaurants, and you say, who do you call if you have problems? And they tell you Wayne State Police. And I think what makes us stand out is not only the type of service that we provide, but the attitude that we provide that service with.
Chief Holt, thanks so much for your time.
Okay, a pleasure. Thank you.